If yeah, for whatever reason, that doesn't make sense. It's been a busy week. If anyone wants, I've got half an hour gaps tomorrow. So message me and I'll be able to do a call with you guys. I've done a few one-on-ones where I can fit them in. So please reach out, please reach out, please reach out, and I will get onto you and we'll have a call. Like obviously with these ones, and with seeing who's on now, there's a couple of newbies that have only just gotten started, but the vast majority have been in for a little bit of time. So, and I've also had personally probably about 7 or 8 new people get started in the last 3 or 4 days. So I'm pretty chockers at the moment, but like I said, all about it fits the time in. But based on who's on here right now, you guys have been doing this for a little bit, so it's kind of cool. We'll be able to get into more form of looking at the charts and going through some trading. Now, as I've said previously, this isn't predominantly my trading time frame, so I'll be trading on my demo account. So just be aware of that. Yeah, because it's just better for me, my time slot based on my trading as well, to do between that sort of 2 to 6 o'clock. Just add Jason between 2 to 6. There's a couple more coming now. 2 to 6. Just because the markets move a little bit slower, it's less crazy, less spasmodic, and I find it to be a little bit better for me personally. Welcome, everyone is jumping on. Cool. So, firstly, though, before we get into the HFX stuff, I will give a cheeky plug because I need to, and not everyone in this group knows, but there is a few that are already in it. Myself and Jess are running a 4-week critical coaching course. So if you're interested at all, it's completely free. It's just another value thing that I want to be able to give back to everyone. It stems from a little bit, one, it's been a passion project for mine for ages. And, I decided to team up with Jess just because it was really good. It's also a good balance between two different people that live two completely different lives. But yet same mission, same purpose, same values. And I thought it's really, really cool. So 4-week critical coaching course. It's the reason we're focusing on 4 key elements. So health, wealth, love, and fulfillment. They're my 4 key pillars that I sort of stand by for my main 4. The reason being 4, obviously 4 legs on a table. And I try to spend, and my focus for each day is to spend a little bit of time in each of those 4 key pillars, which is hugely important because, you see many multi-billionaires and millionaires who have been divorced 5 or 6 times, overweight, miserable, hate themselves, yet they make heaps of money. Then you see the other end of the spectrum, people like me, shredded bodybuilders, but can't rub $2 together. And there's all these different things in between. So it's all about having that even kill. If you've done a lot of personal development courses and stuff before and spent a lot of money on yourself in seminars, etc., you may find this a little bit basic because it is obviously a free course, but still good for refreshers. And I love your feedback and input because for me, it's just been like, fuck it, let's just do it. I've been thinking about it for ages. I'm like, let's just do it. Got to speak about the things that I speak about too. So if you're interested, I know a few of you are already in the group. Just let me know if you're interested, and I'll add you into it because that starts on Monday, and we'll release our first video on Sunday. So enough about that. I don't want to bother you anymore with that. Thanks, Danny. I'm keen as to. That's just literally just pulling the trigger on that bad boy. Needed to do it sooner rather than later. So I've had a few one-on-ones with some of you guys who are on the call. Jess sends her apologies. She's a bit unwell and her bubs are unwell too, so she just couldn't make tonight. But how's everyone been on the charts? I'll unmute a couple of people and put you on the pump. I haven't looked at the charts at all today, so I'm literally just looking in the background. So just have a bit of a squiz. Just before I get into that though, I had a good chat with a couple of people, and I said for the ones that are currently live, one thing I do suggest is when you come on to trade, just jump onto your demo account first. Obviously, when you click up the top live, it'll pop down and you can just select straight to your demo account. Just spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes doing some demo trades, get the vibe, get the feel of the market, see how things are moving. And then, obviously if you're making mistakes on your demo account, it doesn't matter, just to get the general feel and gist. Also, I suggest if you are new to trading, maybe only have 2 pairs that you focus on. As I've said, if you generally trade at night, around this time based on your schedule, Euro USD tends to always pay out really highly. But look at two of your bigger moving currency pairs and just stick to them, so then you're not forced to overtrade because, generally in a move, you're only going to get when you're prices have pierced the Bollinger Bands. It's, around that sort of every 10 minutes or so. So if you're sticking to one, it's going to make sure you don't overtrade, which I do strongly recommend with that as well. So Jace, do you want to just unmute yourself and I'll put you on the pump again, man? I don't know if you've traded this week, but did you want to let us know if you've done any trading?
Yeah, I have. I had a pretty shit day yesterday. I think just everything, like especially the yen pairs, are really one-sided.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been pretty good. I just entered a trade then, and the time, the time thing changes and it stitches you up sometimes.
That's why, personally, and I've said I don't like the time one. I'll always do the clock.
Yeah, I always use the clock too, but mine changes back.
Yes,
if I get out of it.
Yeah, it gets you in your
I went to a different browser, then come back. So I'm in a 15-minute trade at the moment.
Well, okay, I'm keen. So we'll time the call we need to know. If you get it, mate, awesome. If you don't, you owe me 15 burpees. What do you reckon?
It would have lost anyway, so it's a good thing. Might come through and win. But another thing, I've definitely been over trading.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing 10, 15 trades a day, I reckon, and I only need to be doing 5.
Yeah.
But I'm still new, so it's kind of a good thing as well. But
and would you say if you're over trading, you're predominantly like losing more than winning more with those over trades?
Yeah, and you're just giving it back.
Yeah. You win and you're back.
You're winning, and then right at the end of the night, you have 2 losses in a row, and you've got back. Like I'm still doing really well, but I could be a lot further ahead.
Yeah. Common, and I've done it as well, especially when you do get on a bit of a roll and you sort of, for me, if I'm hitting my first 4, bang bang, and it's like awesome, and then you go that 5th one, and then you sort of lose a bit of profit on that because I'm compounding quite aggressively, reinvesting pretty much 90% of my profits each time, and then that 5th one comes through, which is going to be a 4-figure profit win. And then you lose that one and it's like shit. And then so you sit there again and then try to get all that back. And then that's when you just start chasing your tail. And I know a lot of us can put our hands up to that and being guilty of it. I've spoken to a few people and that's fine. That's where, you've got to understand your psychology of things. You've got to understand your emotions. I can't stress it enough. We all know we've done all the calls. We've done the calls with Mike for the ones that have jumped on the Tuesday calls. They say the same thing. Even though, yes, they're doing smart money, the concepts still apply. They're even more critical and crucial to this form of trading just because of the fact of the way that the risk to reward takes place. Now, as well, just before we get into some more of the trading things, and a chat to SJ as well. I know most of us know who SJ is. She's going to jump on the call next week and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about the smart money side of things because we've got a lot more people going live now and starting to make some profits and some gains. We are going to basically, she's going to jump on and have a bit of a chat about, the smart money side of things and looking to do that where because you're making money, you're able to cover your costs of your subscription fee. It's obviously not going to be for everyone just yet because we're at different stages, and learning to understand that because Jace can speak about this and other guys that have done the smart money concepts, the FRX stuff. The combination of the two are really, really powerful, and it's just different forms of income streams coming through. And it's important because you'll open up a different broker, an Australian broker for that one, predominantly, or depending who you go with, and learning those smart monies. Because when you do those risk to rewards, you're only ever risking 2% of your account, if not sometimes lower, to then gain, 5, 10, 15, 20%, depending on that trade works. So that is a lot better for risk to reward. And that will basically be a slower growing account because of depending on how you manage it. Whereas this can obviously earn you a little bit more. But that takes a little bit longer to learn, which is why I really wanted to delve into smart HFX, because I wanted to be able to help people make money quicker based on global events and shit kicking going on at the moment. People are in dire straits and I want to be able to help them. Some people don't have 4 months or 3 months to learn smart money. So she's going to jump on, have a bit of a chat about that. And I just wanted you guys to all be aware that there is multiple ways of trading. This is only one little one in one small form, but can pay you quite well when you're doing it consistently. So, I guess I wanted to, with today's, obviously come onto the charts firstly, and if we see a live setup take place, then we'll go through it and sort of analyze it, and I'll verbalize what I'm looking for. And I think maybe it's important to know that, as I've said, only because there's some new people tonight, there's no right or wrong in terms of Like this is the blueprint. This is what we look for. Pierce to the Bollinger Bands. Look for that engulfing candle, 50% retracement, and then jump in on that, understanding if all our indicators match up, both on pocket options and on Liberty. So that's our bread and butter. We know that. But in terms of time frame, in terms of how you react, there's no sort of set time on how long you leave your trade. And also keep in mind that sometimes you get faked out. Like, for those who don't know what a fake out is, this is a prime example right here where we have the piercing of the Bollinger Band, we have an engulfing candle. So therefore you get your slight retracement, you look to go in for a sell, and obviously it goes in the opposite direction. And look, sometimes that's like that. That's where obviously on Euro USD, when we jump on Liberty and we jump on the same thing, that changed as soon as I went.
That's the trade I'm in.
For a buy or sell? Sell.
Sell, yeah.
I always do Euro. So
it's probably a good thing that I've gone to 15 minutes because I would have lost anyway. So I've got a chance to win still.
You've got a chance. Why is that? What is happening there? That's really strange. Let me just refresh the page. There we go. And always Euro USD, and then just changed from Euro USD now back to AUD CAD. That was strange. There we are. That was really weird. Anyway, the first one always loads Euro USD. So just going back on, for those who haven't seen this, because I know there's some new people, this is it's part of your membership. So when you're going through your back office, so in here, you obviously go IM Center. And for those who are going through the Academy program, instead of Academy, it's just a few levels down, there is, labels down, there is strategies. And you'll go into Liberty, HFX, Liberty, this will load this one. And the strategy that I like to use, 1 and 2 is really good. If you're just starting, just look at the first one. This one's a little bit more advanced, and that's the simple scalper 2.0. So just looking at this, guys, that fake out, which came, it's important. And what I tend to do with the simple scalper is I will actually go on the 5 minute, just so I can see more room. But I'll just circle it on the 1 minute, just so we can sort of see. This is where it's important to not just look at the one time frame. As we know, high time frame has precedence. So this is a good example of how we can try to avoid those fake outs. So that one there that we saw, so I've just circled it, so then we know. Obviously, we changed the time frames through this. That circle was where we saw the fake out, and it was simply just a retracement bounce off the Bollinger Band to continue, create a little more liquidity, and then you continue up. So if we see on that 1 minute, which I'll just for the sake of the moment, for the time being here, so we think that that's a perfect setup on here. Because you said pierce the Bollinger Band, engulfing candle, retracement. So we think that's great, but again, we need precedence, and a high time frame bias will always win. We still have more room to go on the 5 minute. So therefore, I'm not going to get in on that trade yet because I need to see the confluence on our higher time frames. Plus, we obviously have a high here. We created, so just based on our previous structure, we created this high, and we created now a lower, not a lower low, we created a higher low. So therefore, that should indicate that we are going to break and create a higher high on that 5 minute time frame. So we're going to actually clear this because we didn't make a lower low. So this shows that there's still more room to grow, and I don't want to get involved. This is why Liberty is really important to use, because it's a lot more accurate, and you can see, and you can back test and see on that. So crappy at work. Let me just get off the phone one. Did that come through clearly? It wasn't too staticky, because that's really important. That. Am I hearing? Maybe it's myself. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it sounded fine to me.
Sounded fine? Sweet. Yep. Notification. Thanks, man. Yeah, so that's just a really prime example. So that's how we don't want to get into those ones. And also understanding as well, I've said this week in, week out, market flow. So currently we obviously broke massively bullish. So, in reality, unless you're going to do a short 30-second trade, it's just a little bit risky. If you're a bit more advanced and you know how to read these, you could have got in for a short 30-second based on that pullback. But, it's just we want to keep it super simple, keep it super simple when it comes to this stuff. Now, where I'd be more inclined to, more advanced, is actually trading off this EMA, because as you can see, it's just staircasing up and stepping its way up. But, right now, we just want to be patient on this particular pair and look at how market flows, how market structure is taking place. So let's have a look at, and as we know, based on this, oh wow, I just draw through. Based on this 5-minute time frame, we still have more room to grow. So I really want to have this start to hit the Bollinger Band so we can get those continual moves down, and just wait on this. Now, for those who are new, yes, you do see some buy and sell signals actually pop up on this, which is really pivotal, and they are quite good, as you can see. So they are not 100% accurate, so it's really important to know that. Like if you look here, this says buy and buy, and clearly it's gone down. So you don't always flow. That's why you want to get confluence across all the indicators. This one here is like a momentum oscillator. So it's a wave one. So essentially just think of the blue up candles as like buying pressure, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger because there's more buying volume is increasing, which is correlated with this here, right? And then obviously when we then tell the downward motion, this gray here, now if you're just going off Liberty, I know we didn't pierce the Bollinger Bands, but we can see from these indicators that now gray is coming, so the selling pressure is decreasing, and it's decreasing, and because of our confluence on understanding candle structure, and we had the dot flips, and this would have been a really good sell, in reality, to follow that down just from through looking at Liberty. I do spend a lot more time on Liberty than pocket options itself, just because it shows you and gives you so much more than what pocket options does. So, did anyone want to share anything thus far? Queries, questions, we're all different stages. Feel free to unmute yourself, have a quick chat before I move on to the next thing. See if we can see something coming up live. Here we go. So EuroCAD, we've had the pierce of the Bollinger Band. It's obviously hugely bullish. I don't know why I keep opening that one. Stop it. I went back to the 1 minute. Why did I do that? I'll just go to 1 first and then change this to 5 so we can sort of see where we're going. So now this is a good example. See how the 1 and the 5, there's correlation. We're already hitting both Bollinger Bands on the 1 and the 5. And this is where I want to see. It just sort of indicates to me that now we are, up there, and a reversal should take place. We've broken the previous high. Yes, we're creating those high highs, high lows. So trending is up, very bullish. But because we're there on the 5, this is a good indicator that we should see a reversal take place. What are we seeing here now as well? Yes, we had the bullish upward move. So we've had momentum increasing, but now we've printed our first grey candle, which should see that we are now seeing price stagnate a little bit. But again, we don't rush in because we can see it, literal shit doji candles printing. But so that's just sitting sideways to create more liquidity coming in. But on the 1 minute, we have seen our engulfing candle, which is great. There's our little retracement. This does look pretty good. Now, because we are super bullish, for me personally, I don't want to rush. I don't want to make it too long of a trade. Oops, wrong one. So I'm only going to be looking to make this quite short. Falling down. Just got to wait to see how these indicators lag. It's why I don't like pocket option. This is showing down. We've printed a blue candle, which would indicate selling pressure down, but yet we've gone up. So this is why I don't have my reliance on pocket options. I look at Liberty because that will give me a more confluence. Because now on the 5 minute, we've printed blue, so it's completely different to what pocket options is showing. We don't rush into this. I know seeing this as well, like because we are so bullish, some people often ask the question, well, if you know it's going to go up, why don't you look to buy? That is a very valid question. For me, it's just about making sure that I want to go with, if I am going to, I want to go with the market, but I'm going to be looking to be buying off the EMA, not just now, because we don't actually know. And because we are so oversold and overbought on the stochastic, as well as, this doesn't show the stochastic here, but it does on the other one. If I flipped it over, then yeah, fair enough. I would wait for that bounce off the EMA just to guarantee my chances, basically buying from this high point, because it does need to retrace back down. Yeah, so as you can see there, if we'd rush to get in, again, you got another fake out. Fake out being as our engulfing candle, your 50% retracement, you look to sell that off, but it hasn't gone there. So again, you got to be patient. That's why you can't jump in. 5 minutes still up there. What's your USD doing? Because that wasn't that had already ran, but it. Another reason why I don't like trading this time, because it generally does just continue to trend its upward move or a downward move. It's just, that's when it makes its move because there's more liquidity going through the markets. Whereas generally during the day, you just get those nice, easy top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. Do you want to touch anything on this, Jace, like how you are analyzing this and you sort of see the same sort of stuff, like analyzing it the same way?
Yeah, pretty much. I just like to do the same thing, but a lot of the time I'll see something on the 1 minute and I'll just enter before actually checking, like just the psychology thing.
Yeah, of course. But do
So
you,
yeah, I do
if you're
exactly the same thing
crazy,
pretty much.
crazy bullish moment, will you actually look to buy this instead of waiting for the counter trend to drop down?
Only once I'll look for the RSI to come back to the 50, and
Yeah,
if it's hitting the 50 and the EMA at the same up high, I don't usually.
Yeah,
Depends on the candles too, obviously. But
of course it does. Yeah. Now I know this is really slow. So now for me personally, like if I'm like trading myself, I'm looking at multiple pairs, I'm flicking through all of them. But just for the sake of like our newies and people that are just getting started, this is sort of how I would interpret. And this is how I suggest you doing at the start, like just sitting with a pair and just watching and observing it. And just not rushing the process and just seeing what takes place. Sometimes you don't even need to trade, like just do a mental trade, be like, okay, now I'd sell here. But as you can see, it's just crazy bullish momentum still. And it's not looking like it wants to do too much. What I'll do is I'll have a bit more of this. And feel free if there's anything like guys that you're like questioning or querying or like, you know, want to suggest, unmute yourself and just go for it. I'm going to try and make this interactive while I look through all this. Wow, that's forward and big time. What I will do though is on the YouTube, I'll jump on tomorrow. Friday's not the best day to trade either, but I still jump on during the day tomorrow and I'll do a little bit of live trading and I'll record it and I'll just verbally speak my analysis and I'll post it up on the YouTube. So make sure you jump on and have a squiz of that. Just sort of, again, it's going to be a little bit better based on the way that I do. I know it's hard for everyone. We can't just do a call during the day at 2 o'clock. People are at work and stuff. So it's interesting. We can see that we've got a massive rejection wick push here, which is good. And we've been oversold for huge. The momentum wave in the oscillator is at its sort of highest peak. When we look, it doesn't tend to go too much, like that's one of the highest levels. So we are looking for a reversal, very strong upward move, rejection in the candle. If we can see that slight pullback, that'd be great. Obviously, it's too slow for me to do this when I go between the two. I'd already have this up on my little. And that's already ran. See if we can get a slight pullback. That's spinning. That's good now. That's good now. Oh, I don't like doing this from the gym. Come on, come on, mate. Thank you for working this time. So as you can see, that's the 1 minute, 5 minute. Let's just see where we are on the 5 minute. 5 minute would massively pierce the Bollinger Band as well, which is good. I'm only looking to do a shorter trade, that 1 minute time frame, like this on the 5, like this on the 1. I like the momentum. Just going to go for, again, not ideal situation. You know, we haven't really seen an engulfing candle, but you know, we've got huge movement. We're in up here. We are printing. The selling pressure is dwindling. Not a picture perfect entry, but because this looks like a slight retracement to that engulfing or that big candle. But because of this method, the way that it works, and we work with that little scalp in and out really quickly. And I want to reduce my time frame here. The reason being, was that you, Jake? Naughty. Spazzing me out. Everyone's like this right now, and I can't see what's going on. It's so slow. That mine, I don't know. That one's a bit of a crappy example. Did it get up? Yes, it did. We're going shorter just because we're obviously, you know, your opportunity to quickly see out that would be very small and minimal. On the Liberty, you know, that was basically a 50% retracement there. And I still intend this to continue to move down. As we can see with the momentum waves, we're still to the downside. So, you know, you're just doing quick little scalp. And if I was trading this live, I'd actually look to then sell it again. I will often stay with the same pair for 2 or 3 trades, and then continue that with a trade like what Jace did the other day. He just did the same pair, just traded it three or twice or 3 times. So hopefully that makes sense. Now that wasn't our prime example of a reversal, but this shows you the power of this, because even though we didn't predict the trend, like that wasn't our reversal, it just showed us enough confidence to quickly get in and scalp that trade. And what really indicated that was this particular wick. But because I knew then printing on the next one, that next one then rejected again as well, means we have the bears still got massive momentum. And as I said with that as well, this now working, if we work within the same methodologies, I know it's not a Bollinger Band penetration, but there is still an engulfing candle. There's a slight retracement there, getting for another sell. That opportunity still was there as well if you wanted to continue that understanding, because we know we're so bearish right now and the momentum is down to the downside. And also seeing on the 5 minute that we had that 50% retracement and a rejection, it pulled back slightly. So this shows for me that yes, it tried to come up, but that's purely just a mitigation candle to then continue its downward move. And our candles, selling candles are getting bigger. It's still going down. But that's why I love this method, because you can just just go in and out, bang, bang, 2 quick trades, boom, boom. You know, you want to do it once or twice through. You do that to 2 different people, 2 different currency pairs. Don't do that to 2 different people. That could be a bit interesting. There's your trades done. Euro CAD is still just trending up. Euro USD, we got that. We did get that fall, but it's just consolidating sideways. So it's not nice. Euro CAD's pumping, everything's up and about. We obviously did that CAD JPY one, didn't we? I'll just see what else is there. And if anyone sees anything as well, feel free to just whack it in the chat if you do have profit options open. If you see something that's pierced the Bollinger Bands and you're like, what do you reckon about this? I'm happy to jump on and have a bit of a chat about it. This one here, just going off the back testing, that is a huge wick and rejected straight off. Bang, this would have been a prime opportunity. Seeing that slight pullback, getting in on that wick, going in for that 1 minute trade, bang, straight down, easy. As I said, at nighttime, I do tend to trade a little bit less if I ever do a nighttime trade, but I tend to reduce my time frames because things move quite quickly. But even, in reality, even if you did a 2 minute trade, 3 minute trade, that would have cleared easily. Yeah, this is not a JPY. This is not a JPY one. What I do though as well, I don't tend to like to come on and trade wiki ones, so real wick price action, quite a lot of wicks. If you look at that compared to say your CAD JPY, although JPY pairs usually are quite wicky, which you can see here, those last few weren't. But coming on here and having a look, there's less wicks found on different pairs, and also seeing what the candles are. I had to mention this too. I did a one-on-one yesterday. Oh, the system setting is crap. And if you see like price action where it's really small candles, not really doing much, kind of like, for example, sort of this sort of movement. Sometimes you'll see this and this. I just don't tend to trade it. And it's usually your more exotic pairs, like your CHF pairs, they'll tend to have that. That's why, unlike your Euro USDs, which tend to have bigger volume candles. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, so sorry, Dan, I just saw you on your chat now. Yeah, I think as well, just because instant gratification is so high on this one, and the rush of a winning trade within 30 seconds or less than a minute, especially if you've come from smart money where you used to trade for being multiple hours, it's very exciting. It's very exciting, and you can see things go up very quickly. So definitely just not rushing. You can see there, guys, with that one that I did. I've sat on here for a little bit different, and my system is very slow when I'm doing a live and recording at the same time. But yes, you can make some trades really quickly, and when you do execute them, it's awesome. But I'm being patient. I need to see my opportunities. Like here, as we said, that one that I analyzed with you before on Euro USD, but this is a similar setup. We saw penetration, engulfing candle, 50% retracement. You think to sell, but no, I know that we're still massively bullish on that, and I don't want to rush into this. And Liberty's giving me those same confluences as well. Nothing wants to present though right now, does it? It's again quite ugly, quite ugly.
Someone was asking me a question earlier this week about HFX and the engulfing candle. And I replied with usually just using that one candle as an engulfing candle. But she was asking if you have your green candle, for example, that goes past the bowl band, and then you have 2 blue candles. Can you count like 2 blue candles as an engulfing moment, and then if there's a retracement on like that third candle to then go down, or do you want to see that engulfing candle happen in one candle? Does that make sense? Sorry, I don't know if that made sense.
I think can I phone a friend?
Yeah.
No, like obviously ideally you want to see that engulfing candle, but I've showed moments like, for example, that other one, you might have just 2 consecutive up candles that not engulf, but that's what I mean by this method that I've been doing. There's no right or wrong. There's a general blueprint. Well, not no right or wrong. There isn't wrong, but there is a general blueprint, and you just got to follow the process. And that perfect setup, which doesn't happen all the time, just like any trading, is going to be there. So ideally, that's what I'd like. But you can still have those moments where it's just like too many ones. What you just said, yes. It's just you got to watch it and you got to understand. There's a massive rejectional wick there. We're looking at the engulfing candle. What's this? Euro GBP. GBP. I always do that. I think BP like BP service station. Let's do the 5 minute, not the 1 minute. Now I know some people as well, like this is that do this. And look, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but some people will trade off this wick. So they'll see that rejection wick pull back and then immediately trade for a 30-second sell-off. A bit more advanced. Don't suggest doing it just yet, but it's something that I have done just because we know that that's a huge rejection. So the next one generally will come down. Plus it's off a big candle. So what's that done is essentially we've come up, we've taken the high, 2 highs here because there's equal highs. We've come up, we took liquidity, rejected off, but we also left an imbalance to the downside. So that then it's come through, filled that imbalance, and now gone back up. And now in reality, I do still expect an upward move. On the 5 minute, how do I know that? Because we still haven't quite pierced the Bollinger Band, and now we have officially flipped on the oscillator to the positive. So, this is why, again, I wouldn't have rushed to get into that one. But to see that, knowing that, because this is where it's something I do as well. But again, it's a little bit more advanced. But looking, do we see any areas of resistance being our 2 equal highs? Yes. So I watch it take place, come up, we take the highs, reject off. Again, a very short 30-second trade. It's something I have done as well. Be aware of that. So that's why it's important when you do come onto a chart, you do look backwards and see, okay, where's our areas of interest that we need to come to? This is a big area of interest. This is our next high point because this is the last up or the down that broke structure. So broke our previous lows. Just to reiterate that, just because that's a bit more advanced trading. It's so the last up candle before the down move that captured liquidity and took that low. This is our area where we're trying to come back to, and we pretty much actually did in that candle, didn't we? So we touched the open. So in that one move, we came up, we took the equal highs, we mitigated out of this, and now we're pulling off. I actually like that for a sell. If I wasn't trying to back talk and just explain that, that's actually a really good opportunity there for a quick sell, for a 1 minute sell. What's on Liberty? Did we get up and reject off? In 5 minutes, there's still a bit more room. But if you wanted to trade that one, you can. So slow. I hope that made sense there. I know that's a bit more advanced, but we did a lot of moves there. That was really cool to see. So like I said, I actually would have liked that. If I'd seen this take place with this rejectional wick off here, I actually would have gotten in for the trade based on the closing of this candle for a sell, but I was looking backwards. So just hope that one made sense. So what we saw. So in this moment here for our 1 minute trade, again, just because we are now officially bullish because we bounced off the EMA. So now we are no longer consolidating. We should be trending up. Then that is where I would have gone in for a 1 minute sell, and we would have cleared that easily. Now, even though we didn't pierce on the 5 minute, it just showed enough confluence based on the fact that, as I said, took the highs, rejection, we mitigated off our last institutional area there. Can you apologize? That would have been quite a lot. I hope that makes sense. What was that one? What was there? Come back. Again, I wish I saw this earlier. I do like this one. Engulfing candle, it didn't pull back, so this should show that we should get a little bit of pullback. We have come off there. We've got imbalance to the upside. GBP CHF. I don't usually like trading CHF pairs because they do usually move slower. And also by me having to load this up on another screen, I will lose the ability for a quick entry. No idea. No, that just changed again. That's you good. What was that one? Yeah, there we go. Changed. 5 minutes just to double check. You know, I think the moment I would have already liked to have entered the trade, but still watching it because we can still talk it through. On the 5 minute, awesome. You know, we're breaking down. Oh wait, change. Yeah. Is that possible? No, that can't be that there. But anyway, so if we're just talking off this again, it may present another opportunity for a buy, a shorter buy, because I've missed the run. Again, there was that pullback. That would have been a really good chance for a quick buy there. I don't suggest doing what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to show you guys where they analyze it. So we had that full engulfing candle. We didn't get the pullback at all. So, you know, ideally I'd like that, but because we hey, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Are you all right?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, just watching the Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Shaz. You were not on mute. So again, I don't suggest doing that because that one is a little bit of a what I call a cocky trade because the move had already ran. But that one cleared. And what we can see there, as I said, we had that engulfing candle. It moved up. Now, again, ideally, so this sort of goes back on your question, Danny, as well. So it's sort of similar in the sense that, you know, we got two, candles to the upside. Doesn't mean you can't get in. I think that's what we're going off. Like ideally, if we got a slight little retracement there, that would have been great. But because I saw we didn't go and we still closed, we didn't have that pullback, but it's starting to move. I'm actually going to get in on that particular buy. That's where I would have liked it. Now we had that slight pullback, which is where I obviously got the short 30-second trade. It's just shit. You're not going to do any of this stuff now. We had our gap between the oscillators, the stochastic there, so that would have been. That's why I had enough confidence to get in. But again, very short because it's already made its. Because now we have again structure. We're bearish, strongly bearish. We bounced off the EMA, so I know that our movement make it really, really short. It's not in consolidation. I know it's so much that, but. What are we at now? We are shit. It's 1:45. So I usually like to go no longer than this. It's so glitchy, so much for myself. I'm going to do these. Any last questions? If not, gaps. I've got about 4 half-an-hour gaps to do some one-on-ones. So please reach out, and we will have a call. Cool team. Love yous all. Appreciate yous. As I said about the coaching, if a lot of people jumped in late, we're starting a coaching course, 4-week coaching course. It's a free thing. Most of you guys are in it, which is awesome. But I just love what we're creating. I love the community. I love the vibe that we're doing. This is real. Like this is legitimately people making money. This is not bullshit. You see so many things come on. Like people are making money. The only ones that are having any issues is because they are not attending to their mindset and the way that they react to the markets, either over trading, chasing your loss, not walking away, trading at crap times, rushing the trade process as well. Like you can see how I analyze that. So I hope that really helped about how I do it. And yeah, all in all, love yous all. And I will speak to you guys when I see you again next. Yeah, that was a terrible ending, but I love you all. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Boy.